Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt like your strength, your energy, even your desire as a man are slowly fading away? You're not alone. Every morning, millions of men over 60 wake up feeling weaker, slower, and less alive. But what if I told you there's one simple food, something you can eat every morning, that could naturally bring back your energy, your confidence, and even your firmness? It's not a pill, not a supplement, and not another internet gimmick. It's a powerful nut that science now calls nature's key to male vitality. My name is Dr. James. I'm a board-certified urologist and men's health specialist, and for over 30 years I've helped men in their 60s, 70s, and beyond restore their strength and passion without drugs. I've seen patients who could barely get through the day suddenly wake up full of energy just by making one small change in their morning routine. Now, here's the surprising part. Most men think they lose power because of age, but that's not true. What really drains your vitality is poor blood flow and hormonal imbalance, and the food you eat every morning can make it worse. Yet there's one nut that can flip that around completely. In this video, I'll show you exactly which nut this is, how to eat it, and why it helps restore strength, stamina, and circulation so effectively. Stay with me until the end, because I'll reveal the best time to eat it and one mistake that can cancel all its power. This could be the morning habit that brings your vitality back to life. Before we begin, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to hit that button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another men's health tip designed to help you stay strong, confident, and full of energy. And if you find this video helpful, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 and tell me how I can make these videos even more valuable for you. Now that you understand why so many men over 60 feel their energy fading, let's take a closer look at what's really happening inside the body. The first step to regaining your vitality is understanding how age quietly changes your circulation, hormones, and strength, and why those shifts make you feel weaker over time. 1. What happens to a man's body after 60? When I talk to men in their 60s, there's one thing I hear over and over again: "Doctor, I just don't feel like myself anymore." They tell me their mornings start slower, their strength fades faster, and even their confidence as men doesn't feel the same. I see the frustration in their eyes, the same frustration I once saw in my own father when he crossed 60. It's not just about physical change, it's about the quiet feeling of losing something that once defined you. The truth is, after 60, a man's body begins to move differently, to respond differently, and to recover differently. Inside, your arteries, or those highways that carry blood and oxygen to every cell, start to stiffen. Blood doesn't flow as freely as it used to, meaning your muscles, your brain, and yes, even your private parts, receive less of the fuel they need. This is why you may notice slower recovery after a walk, more fatigue after a meal, or softer erections in the morning. It's not weakness, it's biology. At the same time, your testosterone, the hormone that drives energy, motivation, and masculine power, naturally begins to decline. By age 60, most men have lost nearly half of what they had at 30. This affects more than just libido. It changes your mood, your muscle mass, and even your sleep. You might find yourself snapping more easily, feeling unmotivated, or just flat. Many men blame stress or age, but what's really happening is hormonal imbalance. Then there's nutrient absorption. Even if you eat well, your digestive system simply doesn't pull in vitamins, minerals, and amino acids as efficiently as before. The foods that once fueled your energy don't quite do the same job anymore. Your cells are hungry for zinc, magnesium, and healthy fats, the very building blocks that keep your body performing like it used to. Without enough of them, your body starts running on empty. When I explain this to my patients, I see something click. The realization that what they're experiencing isn't a failure of willpower or manhood. It's a natural process of slowing down that can be understood, managed, and even reversed with the right approach. That's when I tell them, age doesn't take away your strength, it just asks you to nourish it differently. I remember one of my patients, John, a retired engineer. He came to me at 68, convinced that he was too old to feel strong again. He had stopped exercising, lost interest in intimacy, and felt constantly drained. After we talked, I asked him a simple question. What's the first thing you eat every morning? He laughed and said, just toast and coffee, Doc. That moment was the turning point, because right there in that simple morning habit was the reason his body had stopped thriving. What I want every man to know is this: your body still remembers how to be strong, passionate, and alive. The systems that once worked so effortlessly can still work again, but they need the right fuel, the right timing, and the right kind of nourishment to wake them back up. And that's exactly what we're going to explore next, because there is one specific food, a simple, powerful nut that can help your arteries open, your hormones rebalance, and your energy return almost as if your body is remembering what it was built for. It's something most men ignore, but once you understand how it works, you'll never look at your morning routine the same way again. Let's talk about that nut and why it's become known as nature's secret weapon for male strength after 60. 2. The nut that reawakens strength. When I first discovered the power of this nut, I'll admit, even I was skeptical. As a doctor, I've seen hundreds of so-called miracle foods come and go, each one claiming to boost male vitality overnight. But what I found in this humble nut was different. It wasn't hype, it was science, backed by decades of research and thousands of years of traditional wisdom. I remember one morning sitting with a patient who looked at me with that same tired expression I've seen too many times. Shoulders slumped, voice soft, eyes carrying the weight of lost energy. He said, "Doctor, I just want to feel like myself again." I told him, "Then tomorrow morning we start small with this one simple nut." The nut I'm talking about is the walnut. Nature designed it almost poetically. Its shape resembles the human brain, yet it feeds not just the mind, but the entire body. Inside each walnut is a powerhouse of nutrients that directly impact male strength, blood flow, and vitality. Every bite delivers a blend of omega-3 fatty acids, plant-based protein, and minerals that most men over 60 are desperately lacking. What's remarkable is how these compounds work together, not separately, to restore what time has slowly taken away. Walnuts are one of the richest natural sources of L-arginine, an amino acid that your body converts into nitric oxide, the very molecule responsible for opening blood vessels. Think of nitric oxide as nature's key to better circulation. It helps relax the arteries, allowing blood to flow freely through the body, including to the areas that define a man's confidence and performance. When blood flow improves, energy returns, oxygen reaches every muscle, and even the smallest capillaries begin to function like they did decades ago. Then there are the omega-3s, those healthy fats that keep your heart strong and your cells youthful. Most men in their 60s have too much inflammation in their arteries, the kind that quietly narrows blood vessels and restricts circulation. The omega-3s in walnuts act like a soothing balm, reducing inflammation and improving flexibility in those vessels. It's why men who eat them regularly often notice not just better energy, but a clearer mind and calmer mood. Zinc and selenium, two trace minerals hidden inside every walnut, are equally vital. They are the spark plugs of testosterone production. Without them, your body simply can't make enough of the hormone that fuels motivation, muscle, and desire. I often tell my patients, you can't feel like a man if your body isn't making what makes you one. That's why walnuts can feel almost magical. They give your body the raw materials it's been missing without any synthetic chemicals or side effects. But there's more. The polyphenols found in walnuts protect your blood vessels from oxidative stress, the kind of damage that comes from decades of stress, poor sleep, and processed foods. These antioxidants clean up the bloodstream, allowing your heart and brain to function with renewed vitality. It's as if your internal wiring starts to hum again, steady and strong. I've seen men who start their mornings with just a handful of walnuts begin to change in a matter of weeks. They walk taller, their energy lasts longer through the day, and that spark, that quiet but powerful sense of masculinity, starts to return. It's not a miracle. It's your body remembering what it's capable of when you feed it right. I remember one patient, Paul, who told me after 3 weeks of this simple habit, "Doctor, I woke up this morning and I felt it. That same feeling I used to have when I was 40. My wife noticed it too. We both laughed, but I could see in his eyes that something much deeper had shifted. Hope had returned. And that's the beauty of nature. It doesn't rush, it restores. Slowly, steadily, it brings life back where there was fatigue and strength back where there was weakness. But the real magic isn't just in eating walnuts, it's in knowing how and when to eat them to unlock their full power. Because the timing and the method matter just as much as the nut itself. So now let's talk about the science, and why the way you eat them can determine whether they transform your health or do nothing at all. 3. The science behind it. As a doctor, I always tell my patients that belief is important, but evidence is even more powerful. The human body doesn't respond to myths or marketing. It responds to chemistry, biology, and the natural law of how cells repair and function. And when we look at walnuts through the lens of medical science, the results are nothing short of remarkable. I remember the first time I saw the data, it wasn't from a supplement company or an online health blog. It came from a clinical trial published in a respected medical journal. It showed that men who ate a daily serving of walnuts experienced measurable improvements in blood vessel flexibility, nitric oxide production, and overall reproductive function. That caught my attention immediately. You see, nitric oxide is the hidden hero behind every firm, lasting erection and every burst of physical energy. It's the molecule that tells your blood vessels to relax, expand, and let blood flow freely. Without it, no matter how healthy your heart is, circulation slows, energy drops, and your most intimate moments become unpredictable. Walnuts contain a high concentration of L-arginine, which the body converts into nitric oxide naturally. No drugs, no chemicals. Within weeks, this process begins to rejuvenate the arteries that feed the heart, brain, and reproductive organs. In one study from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, men who added walnuts to their daily diet saw a significant boost in endothelial function, the health of the inner lining of blood vessels. That's not just about sexual performance, it's about total body vitality. When blood flows better, every organ works better. Your heart pumps more efficiently, your brain gets sharper, your muscles recover faster. Everything you associate with feeling young again starts to return. I once had a patient named Richard, 64 years old, who had tried everything from expensive supplements to prescription pills. He was frustrated and told me, "Doc, I'm tired of chemicals. I want something natural that actually works." I suggested a simple experiment: 1 handful of walnuts each morning with a tall glass of water. 3 weeks later, he came back smiling. He said, "I don't know what's happening, but I feel alive again. I'm walking faster, sleeping better, and my wife told me I look 10 years younger." That's when I smiled and said, "It's not magic, Richard. It's circulation." But the benefits go beyond blood flow. Walnuts also reduce inflammation, one of the biggest culprits behind aging. Chronic inflammation silently damages your arteries, hormones, and even your nerves. The antioxidants and polyphenols in walnuts act like a cleansing system, protecting your cells from oxidative stress. In simple terms, they slow down the clock. When I show my patients their lab results after a few months on this plan, lower cholesterol, improved blood sugar, better heart markers, they realize something profound. The body can heal itself when given the right tools. Still, there's one thing most people miss. The timing and the way you eat this nut can completely change its effectiveness. Eat it wrong, and you'll get little to no benefit. Eat it right, and your body will start responding in ways that surprise you. It's not just about what you eat, it's about when and how you do it. And in the next part, I'll explain exactly that. The correct way to eat walnuts to unlock their full potential and turn a simple morning habit into a daily source of strength, stamina, and vitality. 4. The right way to eat them. Now let's talk about something most men overlook: the way you eat this nut. Because while the walnut is powerful on its own, how and when you eat it can make the difference between feeling nothing at all and feeling your body come back to life. I've seen men try it the wrong way, snacking late at night, eating them coated in salt or sugar, or mixing them with processed foods, and then they say, "Doc, it didn't work for me." But when I guide them through the right approach, everything changes. Their circulation improves, their energy rises, and they start to feel like themselves again. The best time to eat walnuts is in the morning, right when your body is waking up and your metabolism is ready to absorb nutrients. Think of your body like an engine. After a night's rest, your system is empty and clean, waiting for the right kind of fuel. That's when a handful of raw walnuts delivers the most benefit. I recommend 4 to 5 pieces, eaten slowly, before breakfast. You can have them with a glass of warm water or a light smoothie, but keep it simple. When eaten on an empty stomach, the amino acids in walnuts are absorbed directly into your bloodstream, helping nitric oxide levels rise naturally. It's a quiet process, but one your body immediately recognizes and responds to. Some men prefer soaking the walnuts overnight, and that's a wonderful option too. Soaking helps break down phytic acid, making the nutrients easier to digest. It also softens the texture, which is gentler for older men who may have sensitive teeth or gums. If you soak them, drain the water in the morning and eat them right away. It's almost like waking the nut up before it wakes you up. What you must avoid, however, is roasting or salting them. When you roast walnuts in oil, the healthy omega-3 fats oxidize and lose their protective power. Salt adds unnecessary sodium, which can counteract the blood vessel relaxation you're trying to achieve. Keep them raw, natural, and unprocessed. That's how nature intended them. I remember one of my long-term patients, Harold, a 71-year-old retired firefighter. He told me he'd been eating walnuts for years but never noticed a difference. When I asked him how, he said, "Usually at night with a drink." I smiled and said, "Harold, you're giving your body the right food at the wrong time." I asked him to shift the habit to the morning, right after waking. 3 weeks later, he walked into my office with a grin and said, "Doc, I think I finally understand what you meant." He felt sharper, lighter, and even his wife noticed his newfound energy. Timing mattered. Eating walnuts in the morning also helps regulate your appetite throughout the day. Because of their healthy fats and protein, they balance blood sugar levels, reducing those afternoon energy crashes that make many older men reach for sweets or caffeine. This steady flow of energy keeps your metabolism strong and your hormones stable. What's even more interesting is that the body's testosterone response is higher when nutrients are consumed during daylight hours. Your endocrine system, the network that produces hormones, follows a circadian rhythm, meaning it performs best when your nutrition syncs with natural light. By eating walnuts early, you're aligning with your body's internal clock, giving it the nutrients it needs at the exact moment it's most receptive. This is more than a diet tip. It's a form of self-respect. Taking a few minutes each morning to sit quietly, eat something nourishing, and remember that your health is still within your control can be deeply empowering. It's not just about stronger blood flow or better erections. It's about reclaiming your rhythm, the simple masculine confidence that says, "I still have control over my body." So tomorrow morning, before the coffee, before the rush, reach for your handful of walnuts. Eat them mindfully, like medicine from the earth. You'll be surprised how something so small can start to shift everything. Your mood, your focus, your strength. And yet, even with all this knowledge, many men continue to make one mistake that silently cancels out all these benefits. It's a mistake I see almost every day in my clinic, and it's probably something you've done without even realizing it. Let's talk about that next, because once you stop doing it, the transformation in your vitality can be astonishing. 5. The common mistake most men make. There's one mistake I see far too often, and it quietly robs men of all the benefits this powerful morning habit could bring. It's not about eating the wrong food or not eating enough of it, it's about timing. Most men eat walnuts the wrong way and at the wrong time, turning something that could restore their strength into just another empty snack. I've watched this happen in my clinic countless times. A man comes in proud to tell me he's been eating walnuts for months, yet he feels no change at all. When I ask when he eats them, he shrugs and says, "Usually after dinner, sometimes with a drink." And right there, I already know why nothing's working. The truth is, your body changes how it processes nutrients throughout the day. After 60, your metabolism slows down in the evening. Your blood sugar rises more easily, digestion weakens, and blood flow naturally decreases as the body prepares for rest. So when you eat walnuts late at night, your system doesn't use those nutrients for energy or hormone balance. It stores them as fat. Instead of fueling your heart and circulation, the healthy oils and amino acids get trapped in slow digestion. You wake up feeling heavy, tired, and sluggish instead of strong and energized. I remember one patient named Alan, 73 years old, who came to me disappointed. He said, "Doctor, I've been eating walnuts every night for 6 months, but I don't feel any different." When I told him to shift his routine, to eat them early in the morning before coffee or breakfast, he looked doubtful, but 3 weeks later he came back grinning. "Doc," he said, "I don't know what happened, but I'm waking up with energy again. I even feel lighter when I walk. Timing, not effort, was the difference." Your body is most receptive in the morning right after waking. That's when your cells are eager for oxygen and nutrients, and your blood vessels are more flexible. Eating walnuts during this window lets your body convert their L-arginine into nitric oxide efficiently, boosting blood flow and helping hormones regulate naturally. Think of it like tuning your engine before starting the day. When you fuel yourself right in the morning, everything, your focus, your energy, your confidence, starts running smoother. Another mistake men make is eating walnuts alongside sugary foods like cereal, pastries, or flavored coffee. Sugar competes with the absorption of key minerals like zinc and selenium, blunting their effect on testosterone production. It also spikes insulin, which tells your body to store fat instead of building muscle. The best way to eat walnuts is simply and intentionally, on an empty stomach, with water, or alongside a small serving of fruit or yogurt. That's how you give your body the best chance to use every ounce of nutrition they contain. What I've noticed over the years is that men don't just need more information, they need rhythm. When you build consistency, same time, same ritual every morning, your body starts to trust you again. Hormones stabilize, energy evens out, and your system learns to expect nourishment instead of chaos. It's that trust, that small daily signal that slowly rebuilds strength from the inside out. So if you've tried walnuts before and felt nothing, it's not because they don't work. It's because you didn't give your body the right conditions to let them work. Start your mornings differently, calmly, purposefully. And you'll feel the change not just in your body, but in your mindset too. Because when you treat your body with consistency, it responds with vitality. Still, there's something deeper I want you to understand. Even when men eat right and time things correctly, many still feel something missing. That deeper spark of energy and masculinity that food alone can't replace. That's why in the next part, I want to talk to you about something even more important than nutrition. Something emotional, something primal. The feeling of masculine energy itself, and how you can awaken it again no matter your age. 6. The emotional core, regaining masculine energy. There's a moment in every man's life when he begins to wonder if his best days are behind him. I've seen it in my patients countless times, and that quiet sadness in their voice, the hesitation when they talk about how things used to be. They tell me, "Doctor, I just don't feel like myself anymore," and I always tell them the same thing. Strength isn't gone, it's only sleeping. What you're feeling isn't weakness. It's your body asking to be awakened again. When a man's blood starts flowing properly again, when his hormones come back into balance, something powerful happens. Not just in his body, but in his spirit. He starts standing taller. His eyes get brighter. There's a lightness in his step and a quiet confidence in his tone. That's because masculine energy isn't just about erections or physical power. It's about presence. It's the feeling of being alive in your own skin, of knowing you still have something to give, something to build, something to love. I remember one of my patients, David, a retired Navy officer in his late 60s. When he first came to see me, he looked exhausted. The kind of tiredness that doesn't come from lack of sleep, but from losing touch with who you are. We worked on his nutrition, his habits, and his mindset. 3 months later, he walked into my office smiling. He said, "Doc, my energy's back. But more than that, I feel like me again." That's the moment I live for as a doctor, watching a man rediscover his fire. See, when circulation improves and testosterone begins to rise naturally, Your body starts remembering what it means to be alive. Morning energy returns. Muscles respond more easily. Your mood lifts, and suddenly the world feels lighter. You stop feeling like a passenger in your own life and start driving again. This is what vitality really means, not youth, but strength with purpose. And the change doesn't go unnoticed. Wives, partners, and even family members often tell me, "He seems different. I'm calmer, happier, more confident." That's because when a man feels strong inside, it ripples outward. Relationships deepen, motivation returns, and everyday challenges stop feeling so heavy. It's as if the body and mind begin working together again, something that's been missing for too long. But let's be honest. Reclaiming masculine energy isn't just about what you eat or how you move, it's about what you believe. Many men over 60 have been told to accept decline, that low energy, weak performance, or fading desire are just part of aging. I don't buy that. I've spent 3 decades helping men prove that idea wrong. Your body still knows how to be strong, passionate, and powerful. It simply needs to be reminded how. The walnut is just one key, but it opens a door that leads to something much bigger, the awakening of the man you still are. Once that energy starts flowing again, you feel it everywhere. You wake up ready, you think clearer, you move differently, you love deeper. That's what happens when vitality returns, not because of a drug, but because your body finally remembers its natural rhythm. And here's something beautiful. It's never too late. I've seen men in their 70s, even 80s, light up with the same spark they had decades ago. The body might age, but the soul of a man never forgets how to fight, how to love, how to feel alive. That's the truth no one tells you. And it's the truth I want every man to know. But to keep that fire alive, there's more you can do. Because while food awakens your body, certain daily habits keep your vitality burning strong. Not for a week or a month, but for years to come. In the next part, I'll share 3 simple habits that turn this morning routine into a lifelong formula for energy, strength, and lasting masculinity. 7. The bigger picture. Combine it with healthy habits. Over the years, I've learned that there's no single miracle food, supplement, or secret that can completely transform a man's health. Real lasting vitality comes from balance. A rhythm between what you eat, how you move, how you rest, and how you live each day. The walnut may be the spark, but the flame of your strength is kept alive through daily habits that support your body in every way. When I talk to my patients about reclaiming their masculinity, I remind them that the goal isn't just to have more energy for a few weeks, it's to build a foundation that keeps that energy burning for years to come. It starts with something as simple as water. Most men over 60 don't drink nearly enough of it. I tell them, your blood is the highway of your health and water is the road that keeps it moving. Without enough hydration, even the nutrients from walnuts can't travel efficiently through your bloodstream. Drinking 2 glasses of water first thing in the morning flushes out toxins, hydrates your cells, and allows your circulation to expand. It may sound simple, but I've seen men completely change how they feel just by drinking water consistently. Their skin improves, their energy lasts longer, and their minds feel clearer. Then comes movement. I'm not talking about heavy workouts or hours at the gym. I'm talking about gentle, consistent motion, the kind of movement that keeps your blood flowing and your joints flexible. I often tell my patients to walk for at least 20 minutes every morning, preferably outdoors. The combination of sunlight, oxygen, and gentle movement wakes up your cardiovascular system and boosts your testosterone levels naturally. Walking also helps lower stress hormones, especially cortisol, which is one of the biggest enemies of male vitality. The men who stick to this habit notice something subtle but powerful. Their mood stabilizes, their focus sharpens, and their bodies begin to feel more alive with every step. And then there's sleep. The most overlooked medicine of all. Testosterone, growth hormones, and many of the chemicals responsible for repair and recovery are produced while you sleep. Yet too many men sacrifice this vital process, staying up late watching television or scrolling on their phones. I tell them, your body rebuilds itself in the dark. Going to bed before 11 p.m., Helps your system enter deep, restorative sleep cycles, the kind that heal your heart, brain, and muscles. When men start prioritizing sleep, I see dramatic shifts. Stronger immune systems, steadier energy, and even improved intimacy. Sleep isn't just rest, it's recovery, and it's essential for keeping your vitality strong. These 3 habits, hydration, movement, and sleep, might sound simple, but when combined with your morning walnut routine, they create something extraordinary. Your circulation strengthens, your hormones balance, and your mind begins to clear. You start to move through life with ease again, not fighting your body, but flowing with it. This is what real health feels like after 60, not chasing youth, but honoring your body's wisdom and giving it what it truly needs. One of my favorite patients, George, once said to me, "Doc, I thought getting old meant slowing down. Now I realize it just means learning how to move smarter." He had started drinking more water, taking daily walks, sleeping earlier, and eating his walnuts every morning. Within months, he looked and felt a decade younger. His energy was steady, his confidence returned, and his eyes had that unmistakable fire again. That's the bigger picture, not just surviving, but thriving. It's about waking up each day with purpose and the quiet satisfaction of knowing you're doing something good for yourself. You're not fighting time, you're working with it. And when you do, your body rewards you in ways that surprise even me after 30 years of practice. But before we finish, I want to leave you with one final message, a truth I share with every man who sits across from me in my office. Because while food and habits can restore your strength, there's something even more powerful that fuels a man's vitality. Something emotional, something deeply human. And in the conclusion, I'll tell you exactly what that is and how it can keep your energy and confidence alive for the rest of your life. Conclusion: reclaim your power. After 3 decades of helping men rediscover their vitality, I've learned that true strength doesn't come from a pill, a supplement, or even a single food. It comes from consistency, from the quiet, disciplined choices you make each morning when no one is watching. Eating a handful of walnuts may seem simple, but it represents something far greater. It's a daily act of self-respect, a reminder that your body still remembers how to be strong, passionate, and alive. When you give your body what it needs, clean nutrition, movement, water, rest, it begins to thank you. Your circulation improves, your energy returns, your mind feels sharper, and that spark of confidence that once defined you starts to shine again. It's not about chasing youth, it's about honoring the man you've become and giving him the strength to live fully. I've seen it in my patients, in men who thought their best years were gone, and yet with a few small changes, they reclaimed the life they thought they'd lost. So tomorrow morning, before the rush of the day, take a moment for yourself. Sit down, breathe deeply, and eat your handful of walnuts. Drink your water. Walk outside. Let the sunlight hit your face. These are not small things. They are the building blocks of the life you still deserve to live. Because age doesn't take away your power, neglect does. And the moment you decide to care for yourself again, your body begins to listen. Your strength returns, your energy awakens, and the man you thought you'd lost comes back stronger than ever.